Hi everyone. My name is Courage Alatunde, and I welcome you to the YDTS Discover Me series, a program where I interact with African teenagers and kids who are doing amazing things with their talents. At YDTS, we believe that every child has a potential, and we know that the stories that our guests share would inspire other kids to take charge of their talents and begin to make an impact with it. On the set with me today is an amazing talent. I'm not going to reveal who it is just yet, so I want you to stay relaxed and stay tuned. Thank you. Okay, so hi everyone. Welcome to the YDTS Discover Me, a program where we interact with kids and teenagers doing amazing things with their talents and skills. My name is Courage Olatunde, and on the set with me today is Anissa. How are you, Anissa?
I'm great, thank you. How are you doing?
I'm good. I'm great. I'm powered up just to speak with you today. So let's start with Anissa. What can you tell us a little bit about yourself? What you want people to know about you?
Okay. My name is Anissa Moses Saromi. I am an 11-year-old author of 2 books titled Ricky's Ridiculousness and Because I Am. And I also co-authored a 3rd book, which is titled Lessons with Grandma Lou. So I'm very excited to be here. I love to do different things. Apart from writing and reading, I love to play tennis, football, watch TV, and hang out with my family and friends. I also love speaking. I am really interested in speaking. I am an upcoming public speaker. I have so many inspiration. So I'm very excited to be here. And those are some things that I'd love for you to know about me.
Great. You seem like an embodiment of lots of talents: writing, tennis, speaking. Like you have it all, girl. Like, come on. Now I feel so bad. Like, I'm like, Courage, when you're in school, when you're younger, what were you doing with yourself? I was just going about playing 10-10. You know, this like that game. That was like my favorite game then back in Nigeria. I was like, that was so cool. I'm doing some silly things instead of putting my talents to work. Although I love to design. I used to hope that I will be just big time fashion designer and my designs would be on the New York runway. But my older ones are like, Courage, you want to be a tailor or Obioma? I'm like, really? That's all you guys can do for me? You can't even motivate me to be better. But as I grew older, I took a few courses which they don't know about, but the interest was gone. I still design, but not like the way I was so passionate. So that's great. I'm so excited to see a young individual like doing so many amazing things. And I know that there are many kids around the world that will be inspired by your story and will be like, wow, if she can do it, I can too. So okay, so when did you start writing? Let's talk about your writing. When did you start?
Okay. I started writing at a pretty early age, around the age of 5. I just loved to scribble things down. I didn't really know how to write things that made sense. So I just scribbled things down. I'd ask my dad for pieces of paper at the age of 5. And that's basically when I started writing, at the age of 5. It's a really young age.
Yeah. So what was your first book that you authored? Because you said you're reading 2 and you just co-authored one. So what was the first one that you ever wrote publicly that you brought out to the public?
Well, actually, I didn't bring out one. I brought out 2 at the same time. Yes. And that was actually last year during the lockdown. It was Ricky's Ridiculousness and Because I Am. So both of them, it was like together. They were published together. And they were completely different. So those were the first 2 books that I actually brought out at the same time.
Okay, so let's talk about Ricky's Ridiculousness. What kind of book is that? Is that like some like a story, or it's about? So what's the inspiration behind that book? Behind Ricky's Ridiculousness.
Okay. Behind Ricky's Ridiculousness.
Yes.
So at a young age, Ricky's Ridiculousness actually started when I was around 6. At that time that I started writing and putting things down, it didn't really make any sense. And I really wanted to bring to the table some humor. I love funny stories. I'm really inspired by stories that are humorous, that just make me laugh. And Ricky's Ridiculousness is that kind of story. So I decided that I just write down something. Actually, the story behind Ricky's Ridiculousness is actually quite funny. It was one day when my mom told me to have a nap on Sunday. And instead of having a nap, I went on and I stapled a piece of paper together like a book. And I just started drawing and writing. And it was titled Ricky Goes to School, but that was never published. But I just kept on writing, and my family was so supportive. So that was basically the story behind Ricky's Ridiculousness.
Oh, interesting. What about what was the other title you mentioned?
The other title is Because I Am.
Yeah, I'm fascinated by that title. It's very motivational. So tell me your inspiration behind that.
Well, since I have Ricky's Ridiculousness, I decided that why not balance it? I have one that's humorous, and Because I Am, I decided that it would be inspirational. What brought about Because I Am was it started at the start of lockdown, which was when the pandemic just started in the world. And Because I Am took 6 weeks to write, actually. The inspiration behind it is that I've had so many encounters in my life with my family, with my friends, so many things that have happened. So I decided to write about them. And they're very inspirational to know. Some of the stories in Because I Am are from real life experiences. For example, an encounter with an underprivileged child and how they've grown while I've helped them with my family, with sports, with my initiative. You Can Be More initiative. So Because I Am was really inspired by those encounters. And Because I Am is about children my age who have overcome challenges and obstacles through the works of kindness, courage, and hard work. So putting all that together, I just knew that children would need to read this so they are inspired, they have that drive to keep going, and then whatever comes their way, they can overcome it through those acts. So that's really what inspired Because I Am.
That's very fascinating, and I'm so touched listening, knowing that you have an initiative, because I'm basically like a social advocate. My family thinks I'm the African Mother Teresa. I cannot see somebody in need. I just get inspired and motivated to see how I can help them. And that's why I've like founded 2 organizations here in New York. I'm like, you know what? We can do something about this. There's no point having all of this knowledge, resources around you, and you cannot support people. And most of the sufferings is in the global north, that's Africa and some other parts of Asia. And it's very inspiring hearing that they are young kids like you, like coming up with it. Because if we have more of you, that means the world will be a better place. There'll be less hunger, less poverty, more educated kids, and things will be better. So that's very, very interesting to know. And I feel very privileged talking to a fellow founder of an organization. I wish I could give you a handshake here, but because unfortunately it's virtual. So between both books, which of the books gives you like comfort? Like Ricky's Ridiculousness, Because I Am. Which of them, when you read, because I know you must have read your stories, right? You must have read the books you authored, have you? So which of them, when you read them, gives you some kind of solace, comfort, like, I really did this? Which of them gives you that feeling?
Wow, that is quite hard to choose between them. But if I was to choose between both of them, I would say Because I Am. The reason is because I know that Because I Am is going to make a difference in the lives of the kids who are going to read it, because it is inspirational. They can relate to most of the stories in them. The chapters are really relatable to children my age, between the ages of 7 and 14. So it gives me comfort knowing that those children are going to enjoy that book. They're going to relate to the book. They're going to be inspired, encouraged, motivated by it. Even though Ricky's Ridiculousness is quite humorous, and let me just say that Ricky relates to me a bit, because Ricky me in some instances. But I think Because I Am, out of both of them, would say that children would enjoy more, and it would really leave an impact in children's lives. So that's the book I would choose.
So you mentioned that you wrote Because I Am in 6 weeks. That's pretty fast. Wow. Well, I'm like, whoa. because I remember someone meeting me and telling me, Courage, you have too many stories to share. Why don't you write it in a book? I'm like, really, book? Even to write an essay, I'm like struggling. Like, I don't want to write an essay. I rather talk to you, like tell the professor all of my stories than write it. I was like, how did you do that in 6 weeks? Please tell me. Give me the tips. How so that I could pick it up and maybe try to write my own book or biography. So how do you do that?
To respond to your own contribution, I actually am a bit of a storyteller as well.
Okay.
And I'd rather say things than write things. But in 6 weeks, one thing that happens to me, I don't know if it happens to other people, but I believe that there are inspirations everywhere. Inspirations come from the most unusual places. And it was quite a coincidence to know that the coronavirus pandemic started around that time, and we were on lockdown. So there was so much time to write instead of going to school and you don't have time to come back. So I was able to write that in 6 weeks because I've had so many experiences in my life, so many encounters that I could just easily jot down. And one thing I do is that sometimes I journal. And from those journals and those pieces of writing, I'm able to extract them and put them into a story. And I'm the kind of person who likes to describe things. So if I have a word, I'm able to say more about it in like a paragraph. So because I took only 6 weeks because we were in lockdown and there was so much time. Number two, I had so many inspirations. There were so many things that came to my mind, the pandemic, my encounters, my experiences. So that is basically how Because I Am came to be in 6 weeks. And I'm quite surprised that it was only in a matter of 6 weeks that I was able to put together such an amazing story.
That is so wonderful because the pandemic struck and people were devastated, but you used that time for something resourceful. So I applaud you for that. I know a couple of people that were just devastated, lamenting, grumbling, and I'm like, this is an opportunity for you to reflect on your life, to become better. But you're like, no, Carrie, don't shut up. Nah. It's tiring and broken. Even adults were complaining. Kids were tired of virtual learning. It was just so new, but you were able to take that time and do something resourceful and reproduce, because I'm sure you saw some copies of those books, haven't you? You've sold
Yes,
copies.
I have.
See? And you're able to earn. That's a story that other kids and youth should be listening to, because there's something about situations. A situation depends on how you handle it. Everybody has experiences, but it's how you're able to take it, how you're able to manage it and handle it that matters the most, because that's what people will resonate with people more. So people will resonate with you like that child that used the time of the pandemic to do something resourceful. And that's how I'm always going to remember Anissa, like the girl that wrote a book during the pandemic. Courage, what were you doing with your time? Nothing. So that's very inspirational. So moving forward, like, what do you plan to study at the university?
Well, I haven't really taken time to think about that. I haven't really focused on that. The truth of the matter is that I enjoy what I'm doing right now. And I want to continue to enjoy it, especially with my initiative, the You Can Be More initiative. I want to enjoy it to help the underprivileged children in my community, in my generation. And I haven't really thought about what I'm going to do in the future, but what I can say is right now, as I am a child and as I am growing up, I want to continue to use this initiative to impact the lives of underprivileged children and other children my age who have a potential and are hoping to portray it in the future. So I'll take some time to think about that later.
It's fine. It's okay. It's okay. It's very okay to live in the moment. It's very okay to just enjoy it as it goes, because it's definitely come to you at some point. But I'm so happy that you're able to live in the moment. You're able to appreciate what you do, love what you do, and continue doing what you do. Because even if you decide to study something entirely different, you still have this skill, this passion that could be like a side earning for you. It's a social impact project. First of all, yeah, inspiring people. Yeah, writing books. So that's who you are. So, like you said, you can be more. You can be more than that, but still enjoy all of the things that you do. So that's fascinating. So regarding your have you been on your public speaking? Have you been in front of a crowd to speak with them before? Is this something
Yeah.
that, how was that? Were you
I
shy? Were you wild? Or were you like, oh my God, how am I going to do this?
Well, there are different things. One thing you should know about me is that I am very nervous before going on stage. I get anxiety whenever I think about the audiences and what people are going to think about what I'm going to say. But once I get on stage, I'm all right.
Oh
I
my
am
God.
all right because I know that what I'm saying is going to make a difference and what I'm saying is going to make people happy. So yes, I've been on stage many times in different audiences, like my school, in halls, in auditoriums. So it's been a great experience so far, and I look forward to more of that.
So what's the largest crowd you've spoken to? Can you give a number, like an estimate?
1,000.
Oh, was it virtual or were you like real life? Like you're standing in front of them?
In real life, that was before the pandemic. That was just a few weeks before the pandemic, which is nerve-wracking. But
how did
yes.
you do that? Like, I get so shy just standing in front of people. And people wonder, how you lead when you're shy? Like, I like to be behind the scenes, like putting all the projects together. When it's time to come out, I really don't like it. But people always put me on the spot, like, Courage, you're up next. I'm like, oh God, please speak through me. That's when I become very spiritual. Like, God, speak through me. I don't know what. I don't know what. Well, that's amazing. 1,000 people. That's good. That's wow. I'm wild. Also, what? Yes, yeah, I'm listening.
Actually, my first time. The first time. Crowd, but I was thankful that I had my family to support me, and I was able to practice before that. So I was afraid that I would forget a line or someone's going to look at me, but everything went well, and I thank God that everything went well. So
that is great. Like 1,000 people. The largest crowd I've spoken to before is, I think, about 200, and they're a bit like, they're way older than I am. So imagine having to speak to like 40-year-olds, and I'm like, who am I? Like someone like, I could hear someone like, oh, who's this girl from New York? What does she have to say? I'm like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, what am I gonna say? Because what do I really know about? It's just, look, like you said, when you get on stage, it's never, I feel like I was never so, not just looking at them like, and like, because I was speaking on I was in business, like disruptive technology and business. And there was a man there that he's a business coach. And he was like, let's hear what she has to say. I was like, oh God, what am I going to tell this business coach that will make him listen? But at the end of the day, it was like, Courage, I was amazed. Like, my first thought was, what is she going to say that I haven't heard before? But you came with so much knowledge and example, like, how long have you been speaking? I'm like, no, I don't. I just do this for fun. It's like, you should take this as a career. But I'm like, nah. And I don't like it. So I can imagine if 200 was like, I was almost peeing in my pants. Say 1,000, girl, you're big. You're big. You're very. You should be called courage. You're very courageous. I'm not courageous. So another question. Sorry, we ran over very soon. So how do you manage with your writing and other activities and your schoolwork? How are you able to cope with both?
Okay, for school, I would say that during school time, during term time, I am 100% focused on my schoolwork. But during days and weekends, I take advantage of that and continue doing what I'm doing. I focus with my initiative, with making videos, with my writing, and adding to different things. So I think one of the things I do is that I take advantage of weekends and holidays. But term time.
You're having a technical glitch. Hello? Sorry, can you say that again? There was like some internet glitch and you were frozen for like a minute. So can you just say that again? How you're able to cope with school and all of your other activities?
Okay, so I said that during school time, I focus on my books 100%. My brain is always in school. I don't do anything else. But when it comes to weekends and holidays, I take advantage of that and use it to plan my videos, to get more ideas, inspirations for my writing. And I just take advantage of that time to really focus on my initiative and my writing. So during term time, I am 100% in school, but during the weekends and holidays, I take that time to really do what I'm doing.
It sounds like you have a really good planned out schedule here, which is very interesting, because time management is key in anything that one decides to do. So on a scale of 1 to 100, how much family support do you have on a scale of 1 to 100? How much family support do you have? Can you hear me?
Pardon, please, can you repeat?
Okay, so I said on a scale of 1 to 100, how much family support do you have?
101. I'm sorry, I went over
That's
the limits, but I have 101% of family support. My family supports me. My family they always have my back in everything I do. So that's basically
that's good to know. So what I can hear from this is that your family has been one of like the great motivations that has helped you to get to where you are today, right? Am I right? Or you can say no, courage. That's great. You have a very wonderful family, because I know there are kids that have skills, talents, but I even scared to mention it because their parents may not want to hear it, because their parents are more focused on them participating in class, getting good grades, becoming a banker or a doctor, all those professions. While there are parents like your parents that support you to advance in your talents as well as other areas of your life. That's pretty amazing. One last question before I let you go. So there are other kids across Africa that have talents, that have skills, but they do not know how to begin. So what would be your advice to them?
Well, this answer is very simple. If you don't know where to begin, first of all, find what you're good at. Find what you're good at. And from there, keep going. The reason I say this is because you're never too young or never too old to start something. You have to at least find something that you're good at, whether it's singing or dancing, writing, speaking, football. Find what you're good at and go on with it. There's no formula to do that. You have to keep going. If you're good at singing, keep practicing. If you're good at dancing, keep practicing. If you're good at football, keep kicking the ball. And I promise you, it's going to work out for you. And you'll soon achieve your goal that you set.
Wow.
So you have to be consistent. You have to keep doing it.
I'm also inspired by that statement. I'm not 11, but I'm like, whoa, she's talking to me right there. Like, courage, go start what you want to start. Like, that's very inspirational, and like I said, I'm motivated by it, and I know that a lot of kids when they hear like, oh my god, I have to start, no matter what it is, even if it's just little bits, itsy bitsy bits of stuff every day to make me better. I'm going to start with what I have to start. Oh my god, it was so amazing having you here, Anissa. Like, I wish you could go on and on and on, but I know you have other things to do. But I'm delighted that you're able to take out time to speak with me. And I want you to say a big thank you to your parents for allowing you to be who you are and to do what you do. It's great to have a good family and good parents that support you. And I look forward to maybe speaking with you again at some point, or having you at our upcoming conferences. You can speak before 1,000 crowd. Our crowd should be a little for you to come and inspire. So thank you so much, Anissa, and I wish you a very fantastic Saturday. Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye. Thank you.